First Baptist Church of Kimberling City presents a fresh look with Fresh Start.
Good morning, church, and welcome to another Fresh Start. Hey, listen, what I'm going to talk to you about today is the joy of relying on God. I know that in this life, we have a tendency to have all kinds of burdens and problems that have a tendency to just pile up on us, right? And listen, in Psalms 13, David's showing you that, you know what, he was no different. I mean, he was going through some serious internal turmoil, struggles, and just wondering, God, where are you? Where are you in all this? But listen, as he continued to evaluate himself and look at what's going on the inside and on the outside all around him, right? And as he was seeking out God, he said in verses 5 and 6 of Psalm 13, "But I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. And Lord, I'm going to sing to you." Why? Because you have dealt bountifully with me. I mean, what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing to realize that in light of everything that I'm going through, just as David was here, that we come to that conclusion, God, I can just trust in you. Why am I doing this to myself? You know, so and when we look at this chapter, I want you to kind of ponder and think about, what are you trusting in? What are you trusting in or leaning on today? Are you fearing? Are you fearful? Are you frustrated? And so are you allowing your emotions and your thoughts to be something that help to clue you in to where you are or what you think about God? You see, sometimes God allows those fears and those frustrations to help us to see, hey, look at what you're relying on. Sorry, you're relying solely upon yourself, and it's weighing you down. You know, this reminds me of a time when quite a few years ago I hadn't ridden my motorcycle. I ride dirt bikes, and you know, my buddies were all racing these hare scrambles, and I'm like, man, I want to do that. I hadn't done it for a long time, and I'd been working out and prepared myself, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. Got my motorcycle ready. My gear had all been worn down because it's been sitting up in the attic for a long time. But gathered up some gear from my buddies and signed up for the race and was ready to go. Well, when I got up to the starting line, I was all pumped up and ready to start, and man, they dropped the flag, and away we went, and I got a good start and went into that first corner, and my bike died. I'm like kicking my bike, wondering what's going on, trying to get it to start. Looked down, and I had forgot to turn on the fuel. In my excitement and, pumped up energy that I had, and getting the opportunity to race, I forgot about the one thing that's going to keep me going, right? That's going to keep the bike moving. And so finally got it turned on, got it going again, and went a little bit further, and a guy crashed in front of me, and I went up this hill, looped my bike, flipped it over backwards, tore my rear fender off. I'm like, it's just a rear fender. Got my bike up again, going, and took off. It's pouring down rain, horrible atmosphere that day, but just a great feeling of being able to be out there and be racing again. So as I'm riding in this race, like I said, just getting wore out, the rain just continued to come down more and more. And as it was raining, I didn't have a rear fender on my bike, and again, wasn't really thinking that much about it. But that whole time I'm riding, it's just constantly kicking up mud. And that mud's coming up, and it's flowing all over me. And all over me and all over my bike. And man, I just remember, I thought I was in shape. I thought I was ready, but I just continued to feel more and more weighted down. And I rode the whole race, rode for 3 hours, I think, or something like that, and finally finished the race, came in, and pulled up to my wife. And as I pulled up to her, she showed me, took a picture and showed me, and I was unrecognizable. I was unrecognizable. My bike was unrecognizable just because of all the filth from the earth, right? All that mud that I was allowing just to build up upon me, because I thought, that's just insignificant. It's just a fender, right? What good does a fender do? Well, that would have protected all that stuff from the earth from flying up on me, all that debris from flying up and landing upon me. But, sometimes we do the same thing. We think, God, what, the things I'm going through, it's just insignificant. Why do I need to bother you with it? Why do I need to seek you out in this? And you know what? When we continue to do that, that filth of the world continues to build up upon us, and spiritually, for those of us that are believers, sometimes spiritually, just like with David here, things can just become unrecognizable. God even becomes unrecognizable to us. Things around us become unrecognizable spiritually. Why? Because we are allowing so much filth to continue to build up upon us. The good thing about that is when we come to that realization, just as David did here, we realize, you know what, God? I have trusted in you, and I am going to trust in you, right? In the steadfast love of who you are. My heart is going to rejoice now because of the salvation that I have within me. And you know what, God? I'm going to sing to you. I'm going to sing to you. Why? Because you have dealt bountifully with me. You have rewarded me beyond belief. And you know what, church? As we start this fresh start to this fresh day, it's so important for us to realize the joy of relying on God. Listen, I look forward to spending the rest of this week with you. And I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share Fresh Start. Fresh Start is a ministry of First Baptist Church, Kimberling City.